Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are all in our places with bright, smiley faces. And this is the way that we start out our day. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, guys. It is 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time out here on the East Coast in Florida. I can't say beautiful day yet, but I'm going to be optimistic that we're going to have an amazing, beautiful day, guys. If you're waking up with TD right now, I just want you to get in the vibes, get in a good mood. Y'all already know, baby. The first 4 minutes, we vibe out, we wake up, we listen to this banger, this good old music. Now, this is what you call wake up music, baby. Woo! Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to everybody who's live right now, watching me around the world, baby. On your way in the room, if you are a live watcher right now, hit that like button. Man, this is how you're supposed to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're still in the bed right now watching, and you're like, oh, I got to get up soon, but let me listen to TD, you're doing it wrong, baby. You actually got to get up. Unless you got a lot of time and you ain't got to go to work till later. Go ahead, lay down, vibe, relax, do you, and enjoy the show. As always, let's give a special shout out to all the live guests. The first one in the room, Anivia Delgado. Thank you for joining us today. Shout out to the Mod Squad, Insanity 5 in the building. Yeah. Nick Beast 426, I see you here this morning. Y'all hit that like button on your way in. Good morning to you, Lumsey. Vic Coaster in the house. Rock and roll, baby. NFL Miami Dolphins said, what you doing awake? Hey, we over here enjoying the morning show. All right? Welcome to TD Fans Talk, ladies and gentlemen, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter at TD Fans Talk. Instagram is also TD Fans Talk, and my new Facebook page at TD Fans Talk. I don't know. Every time I want to say at, I just think about Twitter. Y'all already know. It's a little mix up there, but I'll get it together. But y'all make sure you guys check me out, man. If you did not check out the live panel show last night, you are missing out. Make sure you go back and check out the live panel show. We had an amazing panel last night. Insanity 5, as you all already know, EM Dolphins fan. He was amazing last night. And we call him K. All right, we call him K, and that's I like calling him K. But shout out to the panel last night, man. What an amazing panel, man. And we enjoyed the show last night, but we have a whole new show for you all this morning. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, a few pieces of news around the NFL to always start out. And then we're going to pretty much talk about the state of the Miami Dolphins, okay? The state of the Miami Dolphins, okay? Let me see. I don't know what's going on. One moment, guys. Have a troll in the comment section. I think. I don't know what's going on with him, but that's all right. We're gonna go ahead and time him out, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. Matter of fact, and if it keeps going, we'll go ahead and remove him from the channel. All right. But here we go, guys. We're going to be talking about the state of the Miami Dolphins. And the biggest question of the day is, should we really be disappointed in our team, or should we be excited about our team right now? And I already know what popular belief is on that question, but we're going to dive deep into that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through some information that may make a lot of us feel better, may make a lot of us feel worse, but that's what we're here for. Thank you for joining me. Waking Up with TD, guys. Yesterday we had an amazing show. I think at one point we had 100 people in the room. Some people come in at 7, and it keeps progressing. But you guys, make sure you hit that like button on your way in. We're doing some great things. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone, since we're new to this new schedule here on TD Fans Talk, what that schedule actually is. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday through Friday, you can now catch me every morning, just like right now at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wake Up with TD, which is on this channel, TD Fans Talk, guys. You can always check me out here. We'll have that show Monday through Friday. We won't have the show on weekends on Saturday and Sunday, okay? You can also check me out every day between the hours of 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the midday shows, okay? It could be one show or it could be multiple shows, but you can also check me out here as well. Or always, guys, if you can't catch me at any of these times, you can always come back and watch the videos here on YouTube, okay? Also, every Tuesday night, and last night was so phenomenal. Like I said, if you missed it, you got to go back and check it out. But every Tuesday night, we have the panel conversation on TD Fans Talk, where some of our best subscribers are on the panel and discussing some of the issues and aspirations, future, present, past of the Miami Dolphins. Huge debates. It gets heated. It gets intense. It gets intense, and that's what I love about it. And we're going to continue to get better and better on that platform as well. But every Tuesday night, you can check us out between 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, last night, we didn't go 7 to 9:30. I think we went till about 10:30. So sometimes it may run over depending on how good the conversation is. But that's a part of it, guys. It can get that good where we just scratch out the time and we just keep rolling. So you guys make sure you tune in for that. Also on this channel, every Friday night, we will have an open panel conversation for all subscribers. I didn't say a few. I didn't say some. I said all subscribers. You will be given a link where you can join in on the conversation. You will be given a link where you can join in on the conversation. So everybody will be able to participate if they choose so, okay? Depending on how much participation we get, we may have to rotate people in and out pretty fast. But this is your opportunity. This is your platform, okay? And the reason why I want you all to really be in tune with the Friday night, because if you feel like you have a voice and you want your voice to be heard and you know exactly what you're talking about in football and everybody else doesn't, y'all know what I mean, that's your opportunity to show us that you're making some great, valid points. And guess what? That can eventually land you on the Tuesday night show for the panel conversation. You can earn a possibility of being on the Tuesday night panel show. So that is the platform on Friday nights where people have the opportunity to come in to the conversation. And if other people are receiving what you're saying very well and you're making great points, that's when TD reaches out to you and say, hey, how would you like to join us on the panel show on occasions? It may not be all the time, but on occasion. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving those opportunities for people to grow within TD Fans Talk, within their aspirations and their interaction with the channel. All right. So again, thank everybody for supporting the channel as always. Also, on Saturdays, we will not have anything on TD Fans Talk outside of breaking news. Okay. And on Sundays, as you all know, between 11:30 and 12:30, well, 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., we will be, 12:30 p.m., we will be live on TD Fans Talk for the pregame show every week, unless it's a bye week, which is this week, and or the Monday night football game. If it is, we'll just do a general show on Sunday. Probably between game time, streaming another game. But game time is at 1 p.m. to about 4:30, or whenever the game ends, we'll be live streaming the games. And post game is around 5:30 to 6:30 every Sunday. discussing what we saw from our Miami Dolphins on the field. All right. So that is the schedule for TD Fans Talk. Anytime you want to catch us live, that is. Anytime you want to catch us live, that is our schedule here on TD Fans Talk. Again, guys, thank you all for your love, your support. Everyone who donates to this channel and help us continue to do what we're doing, it is beyond greatly appreciated. You can always donate live via Super Chat below the comment section, and write your message. Let me know what you're thinking, what's on your mind. You can also donate via PayPal as well, which is in the link down below in the description section of the video as well. Outside of that, guys, welcome to TD Fans Talk and welcome to Waking Up with TD. Let's go ahead and dive in, all right? First and foremost, guys, like I said before, we hope we have a beautiful day. I hope everybody rise and shine and gets their day started off the right way. Now, this is usually the lower week of the Miami Dolphins season, the bye week. The bye week, we don't have a game to look forward to this weekend. Our team is 0-4. We're not even like thriving where we're just talking about the next game. Oh my gosh, can we go 3-1? Can we go 4-1? Can we make it to 3-2 to get above 500? We're not talking about that. We're talking about how we're 0-4 and it is what it is. It is what it is. And this usually starts to become a dead moment for the Miami Dolphins. But that's why this is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, because there is so much still to discuss about this team and how our outlook, our vision, and how we're trying to build a Super Bowl contending team every single day. All right. Not just every year, but every single day. All right. So that's what is going to be geared around this week of what are we doing as a team to improve, and what are we doing as an organization to get better so that we can build a Super Bowl contending team. All right. Now that led me automatically to, then what is the state of the Miami Dolphins? What is the state of the Miami Dolphins? If you go out in the mainstream media, what you're going to hear about the state of the Miami Dolphins is simple. Some of the sound bites are usually sound and read as, this is the worst team in NFL history, we believe. This team right here is tanking. This team right here is tanking for Tua. This team right here is pathetic. This team is miserable. This team is X, Y, and Z. It gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse. The bad part for me is hearing it from some of our own fans. It kind of hurts. But at the end of the day, I do have a sense of understanding from a lot of the fan base for the simple fact of look at what we've been through for the last for a long time, more than 20 years if you ask me. So at the end of the day, all the fans have a right to feel like, man, I am so tired of this. But when you really dive down and dive deep into our team, and you start to understand what's really going on, I can't speak for other people, but for myself, it puts me at ease and it gives me the necessary peace to support the team regardless and understand that things aren't as bad as they seem. Things are actually, in my opinion, on the up and up. Things are actually starting to look more and more and more positive every single week. Well, TD, what do you mean? We're 0-4. How is it getting more positive? I can see if we beat the Chargers and we're 1-3, yeah, it's getting more positive, but we're 0-4. And to those individuals, I would tell you, here at TD Fans Talk, we try our very best to stay away from surface things. We try to stay away from the sickness and evaluate the symptoms. We like to dig down to the root cause. We like to get down to what is causing what. And everyone who's been on this channel for a while knows my favorite word. Attributables. What causes what? That's what we like to dive into. And when I start thinking about what causes what and all the more granular things about this team, I got very, 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 very encouraged. And let me repeat that. When I started to think about the granular things that are happening on this team, I started to get very encouraged. Let's go down the list. Number one, quarterback position. I've been getting more and more encouraged about this team ever since we inserted Josh Rosen into the starting lineup. Well, TD, he hasn't been perfect. What quarterback is? Well, TD had a pick last week. What quarterback goes a full season without throwing an interception? See, I'm not trying to sit here and focus on negative, 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 negative. Now, it's easy for us to say, well, don't be naive enough not to even mention it. Oh, no, you're right. I'm not. Has Josh Rosen been phenomenal, amazingly great? I'd be the first to say no. But to counter that, has he been horrible, terribly bad? Absolutely not. Has he even been just generally bad? No, not at all. Has he been average? Truth be told, in my opinion, no, not at all. Josh Rosen has actually been above average. Oh, you just lost me on that, TD. Why am I losing you? Look at his stats. That's what I hear. They aren't crazy great, or he's not putting this, that, and this up. Once again, on this channel, we don't just look at the surface. We look at why isn't he putting up the biggest numbers? Why? Could it have something to do with the amazing throws that he's been able to drop right in the bucket on the receivers, and they've been dropping them? Truth be told, if we caught half of the balls that should have been caught easily, wide open drops, even Josh Rosen would have 4 touchdowns on the season in 2 games, which isn't bad at all. Even I meant Josh Rosen, and even Josh Rosen would have at least another 150 yards per game at this point. Do we really want to put all the blame on a quarterback when he needs his receivers to actually catch the ball? Now, if the NFL, if this game was played where the quarterback can throw it to himself, then I would understand that. But I don't understand how we are really putting that on Josh Rosen. But back to the original point at hand. I feel very, very, very encouraged about our quarterback situation of the future at this juncture. 2 games in, I do admit, is a small sample size. But just comparing those 2 games, I'm on the positive side and feel very optimistic and feel good about the quarterback position. What about the running back position? This is a position where it has a lot of attributables as well. But before you all think in your mind right now, wow, let me hear what excuse he's going to make for the running backs. I'm not making an excuse at all. This is a position right here that I personally feel like I'm disappointed about. I am highly disappointed about as a unit. As a unit. Is it getting better? It actually is. But overall, that's not saying much. And I'm going to break that down real quick before we move on. The first game, I didn't even know the game of football consisted of running backs. I think you all would agree with that. The way that our running backs played in the first game of the season, I didn't even know the game of football consisted of running backs. I think we all could agree with that. But remember, that's the genesis. That's the beginning of the season. Right now, we're talking about how do we feel right now? Are we getting better? Can we be more? Do we have a positive outlook at certain areas? And then we go to game 2, and it got no better, in my opinion, whatsoever. And that's when you start to worry. And then you go to game 3, and it slightly got better, but in all reality, it didn't at all. It only got better late in the game when they were in pass prevent defense, the Dallas Cowboys, and then we were able to rip off a few runs. We had 3 games straight, in my opinion, where we just could not execute in the running game. It was really bad. It was really bad. Unacceptable. And it gives me the biggest concern. Not to mention Balaj ducking passes, which was atrocious. Not to mention Kenyon Drake fumbling the ball. Atrocious. The first 3 games of the season were an embarrassment at the running back position, starting the season out with optimism for Kenyon Drake and Kalen Balaj, the 2-headed monster, turning into peanuts, turning into dust, nothing. And there's no reason to be excited about that anymore. But then we come into game 4 against the Chargers. And we continue, and before the game started, we had to be able to run the ball. But at this point in the season, I really do believe no one felt like it even mattered because we can't run the ball. We know that we need to run the ball, but going into the Chargers game, even myself felt like we can't run the ball. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Because we can't run the ball. We're not opening up holes. We're not utilizing the fullback properly, in my opinion. And the running back, we just can't run the ball. But lo and behold, I was highly impressed in the first half of the 4th game of the season versus the Chargers. We were running the ball and doing it successfully. Staying ahead of the chains above 4 yards per carry at a minimum. And the running backs were able to impact that game early on by keeping drives alive, not on 3rd down, but giving us a manageable 3rd down situation. And I cannot sit here and give the credit at all to Kalen Balaj. It was all Kenyon Drake in the first half. And he finally showed up and performed. Now, I'm not sitting here making it seem like it was his fault he wasn't showing up and performing in the first 3 games, because there are a lot of attributables to account for. There are a lot of attributables, like the offensive line, the fullback action, play calling. So I'm not blaming the running backs per se in the first 3 games. We just didn't get the production we needed, and we felt like whenever they did run the ball, it necessarily wasn't their fault. They just had no lanes to run through, i.e. offensive line. But in the 4th game, we actually were able to sprout out and do some things. Now, it was shortly lived because in the second half, I personally blame the coaching staff on their abandonment of the run game. I blame them for not consistently sticking with it. Do you all realize that we didn't punt the ball until the second half? We never punted the ball until the second half. We panicked. We panicked. Why did we panic? Because the Los Angeles Chargers had their first tackle for a loss on a run play. And we panicked. We panicked. And we had multiple plays after that where we didn't even attempt to run the ball. And we got behind quick, and now we can't run the ball because we're in a pass situation. But if I was to look at a trending line, the line is headed up. It may not be at a steep incline, but it is heading up because of what happened in that first half showed us that we can run the ball. But we have to be patient enough not to abandon the run. So I'm not happy about the running back situation. So I don't put a check to where, hey, we're getting better. No. But truth be told, we are trending in the right direction. How about our wide receivers? How do we feel about our wide receivers right now? Another area where I am not impressed and not happy. We've had some really good quarterback play delivering the ball to these wide receivers, and they just have not been able to seal the deal in many situations. In many situations. And it's really unacceptable. Right now, the best receiver we have on our team is Devontae Parker. But even him himself have been dropping balls, touchdown opportunities. I'm happy he got his first touchdown last week. Great play from Josh Rosen. I was nervous he wasn't going to catch the wide open ball, but he did. But just like the running backs, it's the same situation. What I saw on Sunday was a little uptick. They were catching the ball at a much higher clip. They weren't dropping the ball all over the field. And again, it's trending in the right direction. But now we have to look forward to consistency in that area. But isn't it funny how when we started the season, we said some of our strongest groups were the running backs, two-headed monsters. The wide receivers are our strongest group. Isn't it funny how that was the preseason analysis? And these guys just did I'm not even going to say a 360, but a 270. Like they turned their back, but has it a little slight look back at a 75-degree angle. Come on. It's not a 180. And it's not a 360. You're right, because that's a full turn. It's not a 180. But what they're doing to us right now is a 270. They're turning their back on us, coming back around, but putting themselves to the side. Like, should I come back? Should I come back to 180 or come back full circle, 360? They're the 270. True Fan said 245. Closer to that 180, huh? Closer to that 180 instead of that 360. I get it. I definitely get it. I get that. Now, I'm going to save a comment that I just saw in the live stream that says the whole roster just not talented enough, because we're going to talk about that at the end. I got to write that down. The whole roster just not talented enough. We're going to talk about that for sure. Okay? But the wide receivers, I have a lot of confidence when Albert Wilson gets back, because I think when Albert Wilson gets back, it's going to put Jakeem Grant in a lot more situations on the outside, because Jakeem Grant has been on the inside more than I personally feel like we like him to be. And a lot of people may say, no, he should be in the slot, this and that, and this. Jakeem Grant should be bounced around in all different type of formations and areas. But I think his role will change when Albert Wilson gets back. And I think it'll be a much more productive role for Jakeem Grant because of what Albert Wilson's going to draw from the defense. But time will tell, we shall see. All right, moving right along. Tight ends. Tight ends. Another group that has been non-existent, in my opinion. Outside of doing a good job on occasions, adding a little additional blocking, which I am happy about. And the crazy thing is that's not really coming in the form of Gesicki so much. It's been the other tight ends. Now, the fact of the matter is the tight ends haven't been involved in our offense quite a bit at all. They have not been involved in the offense a lot at all. But I do remember last week, early in the game, throwing the ball to Gesicki and his butterfingers, it goes right through his hands. And thankfully, Preston Williams was sitting right there on the ground to catch the ball. Because if he wasn't, that was our first punt. That was our first punt early in the game due to a drop ball by Gesicki. I'm starting to feel like O'Leary needs to be the go-to guy and put Gesicki in spurts. Because despite the fact that the ball, Gesicki hasn't been targeted much, when he is, he's not taking full advantage of the opportunity, nor is he making the big play, whether in the run game and blocking or in the pass game. Just my early assessment. I just haven't seen it. And at the end of the day, if this coaching staff is going to keep the same transparency, if they're going to be fair, then they need to make that adjustment and make him earn himself back onto more playing time. Didn't we do that with Raekwon McMillan? Let me slow down. I'm getting too ahead of myself. Maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself. Maybe I am getting too ahead of myself. But I personally feel like it's the truth. I feel like it's the truth. We made Raekwon earn his right, and he did. And now he's coming on to be one of the better linebackers on the team. What about our offensive line? Offensive line. I am so encouraged about the offensive line. I said this before the season started, when everyone was panicking. TD, we don't even have an O-line. Why are we even talking about any of this? This and that. TD, we're going to suck. Our offensive line is going to be terrible. X, Y, and Z. I heard it all. And what was I saying the entire time? I said, you know what, guys, to be honest with you, the offensive line position, it's the one position that I'm really not as worried as everybody else about. Don't get me wrong. I got a lot of flack for it. As much as we struggled at the offensive line, and you're saying you're not really worried about it, man. I don't know if I can even follow you or listen to you anymore. And I told everyone, I said, well, first and foremost, you got a new coach in there. Dave is running the show now. You got to give him time to implement his structure on that line, put his blueprint on the line. So if there are a few rough starts, okay. But I believe in Dave because of what he's done on other teams, and he's been with the Dolphins before. But what he's been able to do on other teams, like with the Colts and different things like that, I believe that he's going to come turn it around. But I also have to respect him and be patient in that process. I told you all, I said by week 4 or 5, our O-line might actually look really good. I said that. Well, TD, now I'm not going to say they look really good. Well, you're right. I'm not going to say they look really good as well. So I wasn't 100% accurate on, oh, they look really good. But are we going to sit here and ignore the fact that maybe they should look really good, but we also had a lot of injuries? Do you know that this was the 3rd different starting lineup on the offensive line this season? And it's still been a manageable team. It's still been a manageable team. They've still done a very good manageable job. Not elite, but a very good manageable job. So at the end of the day, starting out in the first game with Fitzpatrick, I thought they held up well. If I was to give them a grade, I would have gave them a C. They didn't have the best game. They got at the quarterback, but I thought for what we expected, they did well. Yes, I was one of the first people to say we won't miss Tunsil. Because what I want you all to realize is Tunsil was a good player, really good player. But what you have to understand is if you scheme right, you won't miss Tunsil. Has it really helped the Houston Texans that they got Laramie Tunsil? Some might argue the protection is even worse. Go check it out. Go look it up. Go look it up. Some might argue in Houston that the protection is actually even worse. Now, I'm not saying just Tunsil by itself per se, but overall. And let me take it a step further. Our left tackle play has been really, really good. Our left tackle play this season has been really good, regardless of who we put over there. We haven't had issues at the left tackle position. We haven't had issues. That's not where our weaknesses has been on the O-line. The middle of the O-line is where our problems have been. We have inconsistent guard play at times. And Kilgore is, I believe, showing his age at this point. It's not atrocious, but it's not the best of Daniel Kilgore. It's not. This is why I said we wouldn't miss Tunsil. This is why I said we got the biggest steal of all time with 2 first-rounders and a second. The biggest steal of all time. Then TD, how could you have known to be so confident about this? We've sucked on the O-line for so long. How could you have known to be confident about this? General conventional wisdom would tell anybody, man, we should be worried about this O-line. We got rid of Laramie Tunsil, and we've been sucking at O-line. How is it possible that TD could even feel that way and technically be right? I don't see how at any juncture have I been wrong about this O-line so far. How could I have known that we would be okay? And I think we need to chill and give them time to gel. And we still haven't seen our best O-line yet. We haven't, let me repeat what I said earlier. This is the third different starting lineup that we've used. And the crazy thing is, it's not even because of, let's see if this guy's going to do better. Let's see if that guy, it's because of injuries. We still haven't even had a unit that can grow cohesively together. I'm already on the Dave DeGuglielmo, I always mess that up. I'm already on his train of checkmark. Good move. Good move, Brian Flores. Great move making the change early because it's already paying off. It's already paying off. And these guys haven't even been able to gel yet. So back to the original question. How could I have known this? That, believe it or not, they're going to be okay on the O-line. Do you know why I knew? Because a month and a half ago, I learned something on a live stream with everyone. We looked up the number on salary caps. And just like the mainstream media, I was 100% wrong about something. I always felt that you need a great O-line and you got to spend money on it to make sure that you have a great O-line. I always thought that. Well, we need to go handle the trenches. Our number one priority is the trenches. We need an O-line. We need to go in free agency and get one of the best guards available. We need to go in free. We need to re-sign Jawan Taylor. We need Jawan Taylor, Laramie Tunsil. We need to spend that money. We need to go ahead and give Laramie Tunsil his whatever millions, probably 15, 16, whatever it comes with. We need to give Jawan Taylor his 13, 14 million. Between those two guys, 30 million right there. We need to go get the best guard or around 7, 8 million. We need to get another guard that's young in the draft. We need to basically spend $50 million on the O-line so that we can get out of this problem we've had forever. That's what I believe, like most people believe. Now, spending that money will get you a great offensive line. It most certainly will get you a great offensive line if you get the right guys. But what I learned was, how in the heck does the Patriots spend less than $24 million a year, on average $22 million a year, on their entire offensive line? They ain't had a single season in the last 7 years, and it's probably longer than that. I just can't go. The stats I was looking at didn't go past the 7. But in the last 7 years, they didn't have a single O-line where they paid more than $24 million. And here we were talking about, why wouldn't we re-sign Jawan? Why wouldn't we trade Tunsil when those two guys were going to cost us $30 million alone? The Patriots taught me you don't have to spend top dollar to get a great O-line, because it's one of the most important units, not players, units on a team. But when we look at the word unit, you understand that one part is the entire part. You have to get a cohesive group of men that can work together, use their brains together, and become one. And become one. An offensive line is a unit of one. Not one player, but one unit. and you get that unit to gel together and play together and play as one, you got yourself a great O-line, whether it's 50 million or 20 million. It's just the Patriots do it at the $20 million mark. And look, we already know Brady's taking a pay cut, right? To have better talent around him. But Brady's pay cut is basically allowing maybe 2 more 8-level players on the team. But that offensive line salary is allowing about 3 more 8-level players on the team. Because if Brady was getting 35 to 40 million, you might as well take two of those really, really, actually, yeah, 3 of those really, really good players off of the team. But the O-line is also affording them the ability to have another 3 8-level players on that team. Between Brady and the O-line, they're able to have a quality of an 8-rated player on a scale of 1 to 10, about 5 to 6 more of them on their team, just because of the way that they run their salary. And L. Burgess, I couldn't have said it better. You're basically summing up what I'm saying in that regards. This is from the live chat. L. Burgess said, "Why spend 50 million if it can be done for 20?" That's my point. That's my point. So when we have these quote unquote nobody offensive linemen, I started to think to myself, then what makes the difference? How can the Patriots take these nobodies? They may only have one recognizable person on their O-line a year, but how can they take these nobodies and get the job done? And you know where that comes from, ladies and gentlemen? It comes from coaching. It comes from coaching. Do you see what great coaching can do? It can make up for your weaknesses and turn them into your strengths. It can actually garnish positive results. It's all coaching. It's a coaching thing. When you go spend $50 million on your offensive line, you're basically saying, I don't want to have to coach my O-line. I just want to get the players that got it. I don't want to develop the players to have it. I just want the ones that already have it. This goes back to the conversation that I had a few weeks ago. Why do we allow coaches to not coach anymore? Why do we always put the onus on solely the player or the head coach and the schemes and things like that? Sometimes it's the day-to-day grind in camp, taking this player and elevating their game and turning them into something. If Sam Egravon makes it to the Pro Bowl one year, we know that'll have a lot to do with coaching. Of course, players own their own success as well because they are the ones who have to put their work in. If Preston Williams becomes a top flight receiver and makes it to the Pro Bowl one day, we can credit that to coaching. Yeah, he had skill, but come on, guys. If this offensive line that we spend so little on gets the job done, which they are, in my opinion, coaching. Now, has it been perfect? No. This offensive line hasn't been able to run block in the first 3 games if I begged them to save my mama. They just couldn't. But again, we can't ignore the fact that it was the 3rd different starting lineup together. But it looks like this last starting lineup has a combination. They have a combination of pass block and run blocking. And we still have flaws. But the O-line, you have to be positive about. You have to be optimistic about. You have to give them a check at this point.
Not saying that, Tony.
My bad. You have to give them a plus. You have to. There's no question about it. My bad. I had to remove somebody from the chat. But yes, man, I'm very happy about the O-line right now. And here's where my overall consensus is. Howard said, "Let the Prince play." He's played very well. Isn't that crazy? Our 6th round pick this year, y'all, Isaiah Prince, actually had an amazing game in his first start. Now, some may argue, no, I don't know about amazing, but come on. First start for a 6th round pick, and he was able to do what he did. Amazing game down in my book. And all he can do is build onto that and improve on that. Come on. Do y'all not see that? Do you not see what Bohm did? Bohm? I'll learn how to pronounce it. I say Bohm. Do you not see what he was able to do in this game? These are promising things that a lot of people, all they're caring about is that L in the loss column. But they're not looking at some of the players that might actually be getting developed right now to be on that Super Bowl roster. Starting. Did y'all hear that? Are we not paying attention to the players right now that are developing and might actually be a vocal part of that Super Bowl roster that we're going to have in the next year or so? Nobody's talking about that. They're talking about the general terms. The Dolphins suck. We're the worst team ever. But they're not diving deep of what we have on this roster and the players that are actually blossoming. They're blossoming. And now we're hoping that they bear fruit. 6th round pick, y'all. 6th round pick. We drafted. We scouted. Can he continue this? Only time will tell. I mean, we can go in the next game and he give up 530 sacks. I don't know. But all we have is to go off of what we have right now, and we see some upside here. And we see a guy who came in and did their job. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you how good I believe this O-line has been. The only time that other teams have gotten to the quarterback is when they've sent blitzes. Now, I understand, hey, well, we need to be able to pick those up too. I agree. We actually picked some up, though. But they have gave up some sacks on blitzes. But again, we're talking about a cohesive unit who hasn't even got a lot of blitz looks. Why? Because this, again, is the third different starting unit. They haven't even gotten a lot of looks in the blitzes and things like that. So when it comes, it's like a new feel for them. That time is going to improve. You put the factor of Dave Guglielmo, you put the factor of camaraderie, gelling, cohesiveness. You put the factor of the invaluable experience that they are getting right now. We talking about we need to fix our trenches when, truth be told, we might go in the next season already with 3 or 4 linemen. I'm just saying. I think 3 max at the possible. But look, if you would ask anybody who, in my opinion, don't know football, that's just one of these general fans listening to the media, what do you think we need, man? We need to fix our O-line. We need to go get 5 new linemen. That's exactly what they would say. We need to go get 5 new linemen. And just abandon coaching players up. You know why the Patriots are successful over there? Because they get the talent they have to do their job, coaching them up. Do they become all pro bowlers? No. but they coach them up. They get everybody to do their job, coaching them up. The NFL has gotten lazy in that regards. Nobody holds coaches accountable in regards to coaching the players up. And it has to change, and I'm glad that it's changing with the Miami Dolphins, all right? I'm not going to talk about the fullback because that's in the running back situation, but that goes with the negative review that I give right now because we're not even utilizing the fullback properly. And that's more coaching. But right now, that is the state of our offense. That is the state of our offense. And when you go on the defensive side of the ball, defensive tackles, I'm very encouraged about. I'm excited about. Again, if you don't watch film, you may not see this. But our defensive tackles have been doing an amazing job, in my opinion. Godchild has been doing a good job clogging the middle. I would like Christian Wilkins to clog it more. But he's done a phenomenal job because it's hard for us to have great expectations for someone who's getting double teamed on almost every play. And we're going to take a quick break because I got a comment in the comment section that I do want to address. Nivea Delgado said, TD, my friends keep saying our team is trash. What do I say? Nivea Delgado, personally, I would say this is a moment for you to not care what your friends say. Because all they're doing is trying to fan bully you. They're trying to fan bully you. Not only are they trying to fan bully you, they're totally discounting the fact of this is the state of our team right now, but do you not see our future? Because if you ask them right now, what do you think about our future? And he still says, oh, y'all gonna always be trash. That will show you right there it doesn't matter. Okay? And you said he a Ravens fan? Then you know what you should do? You should tell him, I mean, unless it's serious. If y'all seriously having a problem, just ignore it. But if y'all having fun sports talk going at each other, and he's a Ravens fan, you should tell him what has your team done in the last 2 weeks. You should tell him the only teams that your team beat were teams that might be in the top 5 in the draft picks. That's what you tell them. Because they're 2-2. They started out 2-0. But they haven't played any good competition. And when they finally did, they've gotten toasted. So at the end of the day, you might even be able to tell them, if we're home in January, there's a great chance you're going to be home with me. If we're not in the playoffs, there's actually a good chance that you won't be in the playoffs either if you keep this up. And if you do, it's going to be an early exit anyway. That's all. Just tell them that. Oh, your team sucks. That's all right. You're going to be at home. Your team going to be at home watching the playoffs just like we are. That's all you say. That's all you got to say, all right? So hopefully that advice was good for you. Don't let them fan bully you, man. Don't let them fan bully you. You tell them straight out. You tell them straight out. Do you want to come to my house and watch the playoffs with me? Since none of our teams are going to be in it, that's what you do. You give them a home. You give them an invite to the house. That's all you got to do, man. All right, back to it, man. The defensive tackles, man. I'm good. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged about it, okay? I think that when we get the proper defensive ends, we're going to see even better play from the defensive tackles. All right? Now, let's move on to the defensive ends. I have to give that a check mark as well, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're not getting at the quarterback, but you're missing the bigger picture. You're missing the bigger picture. Our biggest problem on this team right now is the fact that we're not getting to the quarterback, but you're missing the biggest picture. The Miami Dolphins have done something that's going to be low-key amazing, and people won't realize how amazing it is for another 365 days. They won't realize how amazing it is until another 365 days. The Miami Dolphins went in and stole a first-round pick named Taco Charleston from the Dallas Cowboys on a 2-year contract worth nothing, $2.5 million. And he has already come to the team and solidified his role as our best pass rusher. Already. Has it translated to 50 sacks? No. But in 2 games, this man has gotten to the quarterback. He has gotten to the quarterback. And the beautiful part about it is he's been doing it on occasional double teams and running back chips. Chips from the running back. It helps us realize that all we need is one more. I mean, we need 2. You want some depth. You got to have the depth, ladies and gentlemen. You got to have the depth. But from a starting standpoint, it makes you realize Taco is able and capable of being a starting defensive end. And a good one. And above all, if you can put another starting caliber, high motor engine guy on the opposite side of him, I believe all of our defensive line issues will be solved. That's why I'm so high on Chase Young. Not because I favor Chase Young over Tua. Well, let me stop lying. I hate lying. I mean, it was an intentional lie. But I do favor Chase Young over Tua. But a part of what goes into me favoring him more than Tua is knowing that we have to have an opposite pass rusher to impact the game at a greater clip right now or next season. Inserting an elite pass rusher opposite of Taco Charleston with Christian Wilkins and Godchild will have a greater impact than inserting any QB on our team. That's all I'm saying. We know we got to have a QB for the future. Is it Rosen? We're going to find out. Is it Tua? We're going to find out. Is it Herbert later? Is it Fromm? Is it, we're going to find out who our QB is one way or another. But my argument is only, is it Trevor? We're going to find out. My argument is only if we get a premier pass rusher opposite Taco Charleston with Godchild and Christian Wilkins, it will have a greater impact on our defense, the team. It'll have a greater impact on the team than inserting any quarterback. Despite the fact that we do need to find our future quarterback. Whether it's any one of those guys, from Rosen, Tua, Trevor, all of them. No, I don't care. I don't want to get into the debate of who it needs to be. Regardless of who it needs to be, the bigger impact is going to be getting another defensive lineman. Defensive end, to be exact. Because if we can get pressure on the quarterback, Xavier Howard can have better production because you'll get more rushed passes, and he's gonna thrive in those situations. Our corners will have an easier day covering because they're very aggressive playing up close, which causes them to get beat. But the quarterback's going to have to throw quick routes, and that's where we specialize. We're going to get turnovers, giving our offense, even if they're struggling, more possessions and better field position. It's going to put the other offenses in worse situations from scoring. Because another defensive lineman isn't just helping the pass rush, it's helping the secondary. God knows it's helping the linebackers. It's a ripple effect of what it's helping. Having an elite defensive line is a ripple effect of what it's helping. It ain't just helping the D-line. It's helping the linebackers, the cornerbacks, the safeties. It's helping the whole defense, and it's helping the team. It's helping the offense put them in good positions. It's helping so much. But getting a good quarterback, it's too many factors to say that it's going to help. It's too many things it's too many other things on offense you have to rely on for that quarterback to be effective. If you bring in the greatest quarterback of all time, what does it matter if the receivers don't catch the ball? So how effective can they be? If you bring in the greatest quarterback of all time, it doesn't matter if, hypothetically, you don't give them time to throw the ball. See, they rely on other factors. A great quarterback is going to rely on guys to catch the ball. He's going to rely on his protection. He's going to rely on a good, solid run game. There's too much that he's relying on for that to be the biggest importance. But a pass rusher opposite Taco Charleston, a premier one, it's going to have a ripple effect through the entire team, not just the defense, the team. The team. So defensive end position, we're on the rise right now. I understand we're not getting to the quarterback, but we went and got Taco, and he's showing you that this is what it's supposed to be. We went and got him. We're actually on the rise at the defensive end position when you look at it from an aspect of setting it up for the future. All right? These are facts, man. The defense definitely gives the offense more chances to score, better field position, or points themselves. The defense can score points themselves. Let's keep it moving. Linebacker position. Man, am I not encouraged. I still believe in Sam Eguavoen, which he hasn't had if I was to give him a grade, I'm giving him a C+. He still has actually played well. Has he put his imprint all over the game like we like? No. Jerome Baker, he still played well. He got to do better in pass coverage. But he still played well. Has he put his imprint on the game? No, not like we'd hope. He's a C. Raekwon McMillan, A-. He's put his imprint on the game. He's put his imprint on the game. But I'm encouraged about our linebackers. You know why? You know why? Because the flaws that Sam Eguavoen is having right now, the flaws that Jerome Baker is having right now, they work itself out when you get that premier defensive end. When you get that premier defensive end, the coach ain't got to sit there and tell the linebackers, hey, man, I need you to make sure have you noticed our number one emphasis has been to stop the run? And we've done a good job stopping the run. We've done a good job stopping the run the last 2 weeks. But you know what that does to us? We get murdered on play action. Jerome Baker already in a trailing position, going after the run, play action. Oh my gosh, my guy done left me 2 seconds ago. He already passed me. So we say, oh man, he's not good at run. He's not good at pass coverage. Come on, you got to understand football. He might actually really be good in pass coverage now. The problem is we haven't put ourselves in obvious situations. Other teams get obvious situations. Miami, 3rd and 12. The other team linebackers, this is a pass situation. I'm going to put myself in a good position. We don't do that to other teams. Every play we have is a guess. 1st and 10 is your big. 1st and 10 should be the only play that you're always guessing. It should be the only play you're always guessing. If you're guessing on other plays, then your defense is failing. And our defense has been failing. Why? 1st and 10. Oh, they got 8 yards. They got 8 yards. Why? Because they threw on 1st down, and we're thinking, hey, 1st down, high probability run, but we're still going to play sound. Even when we got good coverage, the quarterback got 8 seconds to throw the ball, and that's an exaggeration, but 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball, and he eventually finds his open guy. Then we want to say the guys can't cover. When they can cover, the problem is we gave them too much time to throw the ball. Somebody's going to always get open. Somebody's going to always get open eventually. Now we're 2nd and 2, and you're in a guess situation. All right, this should be a run. Let's stop this run. They may only give up 2 yards on a run, but they got the 1st down. That's a tough situation to ask in some cases because you still don't know if they're going to throw. You're guessing. And then when we go for the run, oh my gosh, they play action. That's on 2nd and 2. Up, quick little pass on the middle, linebacker catch up tackle. Come on, Baker, man. You can't be giving up these passes. Do you understand the situational football we were in? It's a 70% chance of a run. And they went in a run formation. And they play action that's on that. You can't ask that much. What, you want them to just give up the run if they do run? You can only ask for so much of these players. We're unfair to them sometimes. Come on, Baker, man. You let this man get out of the backfield and catch a 6-yard pass on 2nd and 2. Well, look at the situation. I formation. Guard pulling to the left. Quarterback got the ball out, handing it off. Linebacker's going downhill. Quarterback pulls, come around the corner. Tight end snuck out. 1st down. They catch up, tackle him, 6 yards. You really want to blame Baker? Even though you would like for him to notice, but it's too late. It's the situations you put yourself in. Defenses have to read situations. Y'all got to understand that in the game of football, defenders have to read situations. All right, it's 3rd and 7. I'm not, even if they're in an I formation, I'm not finna come downhill. Even if they hand it off, we should still be able to stop the second 7 yards and go after it. It's situational football. So I'm going to sit here on 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, watch the back, and if the back stays in block, make sure if a tight end's coming across, that's my guy. Or if a slant's coming and the tight end's block, there's so many different things that happen on the field that a linebacker got to watch. The guy he has can turn out not to be his guy because of how they switch a motion. A motion coming across the field can change everybody's guy. It can change everybody's man in certain formations. And teams take advantage of that on us because they're able to because of the down and distance situations we're in. And if we get a premier pass rusher, that will eliminate a lot of those situations. You may not, on a 1st and 10, you're not going to get an 8-yard chunk all the time. When you got 2 premier pass rushers, now your defensive tackles are beasting. Your defensive tackles are now impacting the game. They're getting in the backfield. Instead of a 1st and 10 going to a 2nd and 2, now you got 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, or 2nd and 13. Now your linebackers, they can eliminate so many different scenarios. All right, 2nd and 13. I'm not worried about the run, and even if they run, we can still come downhill and have enough time. Right now, this is the pass situation. What formation are they in? All right, he's sending this guy in motion. That means this is my guy now. I mean, they're the whole time, pre-snap, everybody on the defense is looking at the offense. Oh, that guy's moving. Okay, we're in this defense. That means I got the back instead of this tight end now because we got trips on the right, and I know the safety behind me should be moving over. I know that this and that. Everything is moving in their head. It's a lot to think about. Why do you think Phillip Rivers was doing what he was doing? Wasn't I calling it on the live stream? I kept saying every single play they run, they're sending a receiver in motion. They're getting the linebackers to respect they're trying to run the ball better. They were trying to run the ball better. They will send a receiver in motion on every single play. They're trying to get their running game by telling the linebackers, okay, the linebacker know he has that running back. Oh my gosh, the receiver's coming in motion this side. I actually got the tight end now, and now the guy next to me got that receiver. Things just switched. And then they run up the middle. Thank God our defensive tackles weren't allowing more than 2 yards a carry. Because if our defensive tackles were playing sorry, they would have been running that ball all up our throat with that motion, taking the linebackers out of it. They would have been running it all up our throat. But it's too much to ask. So don't give me that, oh, Jerome Baker ain't playing well and Sam Egwavon. That's how important that other pass rusher is. That's how important having 4 guys on the defensive line. That's how important it is to have a solid D-line because it's going to make the game easier for your linebackers. They're going to be able to make more plays. They're going to know who they have now. They don't have to overcompensate in the run. They don't have to lean forward on every play on a 1st and 10. Y'all know those plays where they leaning forward. You can see them leaning forward, anticipating the snap, ready to go get it. They ain't got to do all that. They can play good, sound, disciplined football because there's not an advantage up front. When there's an advantage up front, they got to overcompensate, and it's been killing us for 2 years now, going on 2 years. Last year, they did the same thing when our defensive tackles got hurt. They abused us in the trenches, and the linebackers had to overcompensate, and teams just play action the hell out of us and just murdered us. That wasn't just bad defense. It was the lack of talent in certain areas that caused us to go through that. All right. So linebackers, I am very happy about, especially when we get that defensive end. This defense is still going to be elite. Just like when I started the season and say, "Oh, I can't wait to watch this defense," because my aspirations had a lot to do with thinking that Charles Harris was going to emerge finally, and that Tankersley might come on. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. They ruined the whole prospect for me. But that's all we need on the defensive end of the ball. Anywho, let's move on. Cornerback position. We're not looking good. Despite having our all-pro Pro Bowler, Xavier Howard at the cornerback position, we're just not looking good. But again, even with the same personnel that we have right now, put a defensive end in the equation, the cornerbacks are the ones that's going to benefit the most. Oh my gosh, I'm covering this guy good for 3 seconds. Oh man, the 4th and 5th second, I couldn't hold up anymore, man. Do we forget that cornerbacks are the ones that are in trailing positions? Do we forget that the cornerback is always in a disadvantage because they don't know what the receiver's going to do? So if they slanted, I'm there. Oh man, now they're coming upfield, I'm following them. Now they're going back across the middle, I'm following them. Now, oh my gosh, out of 4 things that guy did, all it took is for him to beat me on 1. I was right with him on the first 3, but he beat me on 1. Why? Because the quarterback got all day to throw the ball back there. The quarterback got all day to throw the ball back there. The cornerbacks will benefit the most. Eric Rowe might even be a lot better. Might be a lot better. But I'm still in belief that we need another premier cornerback on the opposite side. So I'm not going to give the cornerback position a check, even though I know that it has a lot to do with the defensive end. But I'm not impressed with the single man coverage regardless. And Xavier Howard's have even had his flaws. Shout out to Little Lauderdale with the donation of $5 on the live stream here on YouTube. He says, no matter if we lose or win, I'm forever a Dolphins fan. Fins up. I love you, brother. Same here. And that's why you're here, be a part of the home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, guys. That's what I love to hear, man. Fins up, everybody. All right. Now, let's go to the safety position. I'm concerned about the safety position because Rashad Jones' contract tells us that he may not be here next year. And outside of that, we have to address that position in either free agency and or the draft. Bobby McCain has been injured. I'm concerned about it. I don't know the state of the safety position. Truth be told, if I was to be concerned about any position on the team, my top 3 positions to be concerned about is defensive end, number 1, getting that other guy. I'm really not concerned about it because at least we set up to where we only need that other guy outside of the depth that we'll pick up. So let me scratch defensive end. But tight end and safety. Tight end and safety. Kenneth Williams said Bobby got to go. He always get beat too, TD. Yeah, I get that, Kenneth. But remember what I just said. If a safety's getting beat all the time, that tells you a quarterback has 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball. Because if we're even talking about the safety level, we're already past the 2.5 second threshold. In most situations, if the safety is getting beat, that is happening after the 3 second mark. It's happening after the 3 second mark. If we're getting bad safety play deep, that is happening after the 3 second mark. And if he's getting beat all the time, why in the hell is he always in a position to get beat all the time? You know why? You need that pass rusher. You need that pass rusher. When I look at Tua, I see 5 seconds to throw the ball, and I see some of the most pretty balls thrown. But when I look at Chase Young, I see him in on the quarterback within 2 seconds. So when I put the two opposing things together, what good is that beautiful pass if it never gets off? What good is that amazing, beautiful pass if it never has time to even get off? Am I wrong for thinking that way? Am I wrong for taking that logical approach? What good is that beautiful pass if you never allow it to even get off? It's the only point I keep trying to make when it even comes to QB versus defensive end. Now, I could tell you, if we didn't have Taco, I would personally say, well, we got more problems anyway. It ain't. The only reason I feel so strong and adamant about go get that defensive end, because I think the other guys we got on the D-line is already ready to go. They just need that one more compliment at the end. They need that one more piece at the end. That's the only reason I'm gung-ho on, come on, go get it. It fixes so many problems. It makes it better for the linebacker. It makes it better for the cornerbacks. It makes it better for the safeties. It makes it better for the run game, defense. It makes it better for the pass rush. It makes it better for the defense overall. It makes it better for the offense, giving them more possession because the other team got to punt more. It makes it better for the team. The defense might actually score some points. It makes it better for Xavier Howard. He can feel free about jumping routes and getting interceptions. It makes it better for too many things to pass up on it. It makes it too good. Too many things it impacts. Too many. And Lil Lauderdale said it's a team sport. We have to become a team first. I agree. But how will you ever become a team if you don't get the personnel first so that they can start becoming a team? You get that defensive end, now the defense is actually feeling good about themselves. Now they're able to make plays and they're playing off of each other. They high-fiving each other. Now people ain't feeling embarrassed because they got beat, but they're the ones looking bad even though the quarterback had 8 seconds to throw the ball. Do you know how that feels as a defender? That's part of the reason Minka probably wanted out. I'm a rookie, and I'm trying to make a name for myself, and I'm out here getting toasted, and people are talking about how bad I'm playing, but I got to cover a guy for 6, 7, 8 seconds every single play? I'm getting an unfair reputation here. I am getting an unfair representation of myself here. They're expecting me to cover a guy for 6, 7 seconds on every single play? Man, put me on a team where I'm covering a guy and I'm like, oh, we got a sack, yes. Where I'm covering a guy, oh, man, I got beat. It don't happen often, but it didn't matter, man. We pressured the quarterback. He underthrew it. Put me on a team that's going to give me some of those. But don't put me on a team where they're able to just expose my weakness every single time. Players want to be around other players that's going to allow their weakness to not be exposed. They're in this league trying to make a name for themselves and make more money to take care of their family. They don't want no negative reputation in this league, getting beat on every play. They understand the team around them helps them not get beat every play. They understand that. And that's what we've been doing. We got to go get that defensive end, man. We got to. We got to. The punt game, no need to talk about it. We're still amazing. I like what our punter's been doing. The kicking game, Jason Sanders' stock is falling. But what I want to tell y'all, out of all of those things, quarterback, we're on the rise. Running back, we're not. Even though I said we are, but we aren't doing good. Wide receiver, we aren't doing great because they need to catch the ball. But running back and wide receiver are two areas that can improve before the end of this season. Tight end, we have to address it if we can. Offensive line, we on the rise. Defensive tackles, we on the rise. Defensive end, we're on the rise. We got to bring in that one more guy. Linebacker, we are just fine. It's all about the defensive end that's going to impact that. Cornerback, we need help. Even though the defensive end will impact that. Safety, we need to figure out what our future plan is. I don't even know what that plan is. Punter, we're good. Kicker, we're falling off. Shout out to Shane L'Esperance with the donation. We see any score more than 10 points. DN. Wait. We see any score more than 10 points. Defensive end? Question mark. We can't score. I think you meant can't. We can't score more than 10 points. Defensive end? Yes, sir. Look at the Patriots beating Buffalo. Score was 16-10. Why did the Patriots win? Tom Brady didn't even score a touchdown because the defense scored the deciding touchdown. They gave the offense several opportunities in the game. They just couldn't do anything. But the pressure they put on Chase Allen, causing interceptions and fumbles, won them that game. It's that simple. So I understand we can't score more than 10 points defensive end. Yeah, but also the receivers got to catch the ball. If the receivers were catching the ball, we wouldn't be talking about 10 points. We'd be talking about 20. And the running game is starting to improve. But we're not going to sit here and make it about the quarterback, you know? He said, exactly. That's my point. Yeah. You got to go defensive end. But guys, that is our state of the team. And we have reached 8 o'clock. And I hope everyone has a blessed, amazing day. Thank you for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, and waking up with TD in the morning, baby. Guys, stay up, be blessed, spread love, spread positivity. Hit that like button on your way out of the room, please. Spread love, spread positivity today. All those around you, if you're going to work, there's a coworker that may be going through something that you don't know. Let them know that you're glad to see them today. Let them know that you hope that they have an amazing day. Things that simple make a difference in someone's life. Spread love, ladies and gentlemen. Spread positivity. Spread blessings. Be someone's joy today. Just like this music is being my joy. Hey, hey, hey. Y'all have a blessed day, man. I wish y'all the very best. Amen, brother. Shout out to you, Miguel. Everybody leave in the comment section. God bless you all. Everybody that's going to watch this stream later, God bless you all. This has been the second episode of Waking Up with TD. 6:30 a.m. Monday through Friday to 8 a.m. Hey, hey. Don't forget, I'm going to say it one more time, baby. Spread love today, man. The world needs it. We need leaders. Everybody here is a leader. Here at the home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, we are all leaders. We all have the ability to spread love and positivity. We all have the ability to help others. We all have the ability to take that selfish bone out of our body. And trust me, I do understand. Trust me, I do understand. Sometimes you go through so much in life where people expect for you to help them when you don't even feel like you can help yourself. If you're one of those individuals that feel like you can't even help yourself, then you know that. Then guess what your job is today? Help yourself. That's it, baby. If you can't help others, make sure you help yourself. Life ain't supposed to be easy. You're going to always be faced with adversity. And trust me, when you overcome that adversity, which you will, when you overcome it, guess what? The next test is on the way. So never get complacent. Never get comfortable. Always fight to be happy and live another day. God bless you all. I love you all. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, y'all. Let everybody know about the channel. Let them know what we do over here, man. Let them know this is the place they want to be in the morning, afternoon, and at night. Let them know, guys. Help me get to 6,500 subscribers here on YouTube. We're at 6,250 subscribers right now. We got 250 to go, y'all. You can help out if you want by just going onto your social media, sharing the link to the video, sharing the link to the shows. People will know where we are, man. Help us get to 6,500 as soon as possible. That's our goal. Again, y'all, I love you. Let this vibe out before we get out of here, man. Waking up with TD. TD in the morning. I love y'all, man. I really do. I see y'all in the comment section. Shout out to y'all showing love. Woo! It's your boy TD. I love y'all and I'm out.